Before the global pandemic, there was already not enough childcare. So we know that in Madison alone, there were over 3,000 children, elementary school age kids, who needed childcare who couldn't access it. Either because there were barriers, there weren't enough spots, they couldn't afford it, whatever the case may be. We already didn't have enough. Now that schools are starting virtually in order to keep children and staff safe during this global pandemic, that need for childcare is only growing exponentially. And the type of programs that we're able to run to provide that childcare to support children doing their virtual learning in a group setting, and also focusing on their social emotional well-being and learning those skills. We know that children learn through relationships. And in the after-school field, we have known and preached that for a really long time, that kids learn by being in relationships with each other and with caring adults, by feeling like they have a safe place where they belong. And that has always been the focus of our programs. So now we're changing and adapting those programs to support the virtual school day, meaning they're an 8-hour day. Children need to be in small groups with consistent staff to minimize exposure. And that is creating some challenges for us. And we're up to the challenge. We are an organization that has continued to work through this pandemic, to figure it out, to work with partners, to work with national organizations, to make sure that we can give kids and working families what they need. Working families all across the country are in need. They need support. They need help. Parents need a break. Children need to be with other children. And we want to be a part of that solution. So we're doing what we can. We are operating programs in Madison schools, and we're hopeful that we'll be operating programs in Waunakee schools as well to support families and giving them what they need to support children with that learning piece. And we need help and support to be able to do that. Wisconsin Youth Company is a local nonprofit. We are certainly larger than some other child care providers. We typically serve over 3,000 children a year across Dane and Waukesha counties. But we are not a national organization with a national fundraising team working for us. We have one fund development staff, and she's amazing, doing a great job, but there are limits to what she can do. We are also not a part of the school district. We do not have access to funds and resources, whether that be taxpayer dollars or federal CARES Act money that is coming through the school district. MSCR does have access to those, and that means they are able to do different things than we are able to do, meaning subsidizing fees for families or having more children in their program who cannot pay fees. Wisconsin Youth Company has, for the last several years, always held spots in our programs for families who have barriers to enrollment, either families who can't afford it or who need to enroll late, which is often a problem if you're moving to a new district right before school starts. Getting one of those much needed spots and after school can be a challenge. So we have always worked with our school partners to identify children and families who have that need and reserve spots for them. And we are continuing to do that in the midst of this pandemic, which means Wisconsin Youth Company is absorbing the cost of those children not being able to pay fees in our program. And we'll continue to work with our school partners to do that. So we could use help from our community. We could use help in the form of donations of school supplies. We need individual materials in a school supply set for each child in our programs. We could use help in donating to our scholarship fund. So not only the families that we're absorbing the cost, but families who maybe just need the cost to be a little bit less, we can use our scholarship fund to support them. We need help recruiting great staff. We need members of our community to help us identify and partner to have qualified, engaging staff who can support our children while they're learning virtually. And we could use help in advocating for federal dollars to be given to these after-school providers who are stepping up to meet the need that exists in our community. Since March, when we closed our offices and had to close our programs when schools closed, we have felt the overwhelming support of families, of community members, of partnerships with other providers, with City of Madison staff, with school district staff across both counties. And we hope that that continues. We are working to continue to build those relationships and partner We know that our community, where we live in southern Wisconsin, is a giving and caring community, that we all care about working families and we want to support each other. And we know that we can. So we're asking for that help and support, and we're going to do our part, knowing that we are really stronger together and we'll get through this together.